Hello, this is Master Z bringing you a Final Fantasy XIV tutorial video. Today we will be discussing how to hire a retainer, as well as how to set up your very own store using the retainer. What is a retainer, you ask? A retainer is a character that you hire to hold items for you. It works sort of like a bank in other games. They also sell these items for you in the market ward while you are logged out. The first step is to hire your retainer. You could do this at the Adventurers Guild in any of the major cities. One of the NPCs in the Adventurers Guild standing behind the counter should offer the retainer. Even though it's called hiring a retainer, I have not seen any indication that you actually have to pay the retainer, other than the 5% tax that they add to any items that you try to sell through the retainer. After you speak with the vendor, they'll ask if you want to have a retainer randomly selected for you, or you could choose some of the options on your own. If you select to choose some of the options on your own, you could choose the race and the gender of the character. After you select to have the retainer chosen for you, or you select the race and the gender that you want, then you'll be taken to a loading screen, which takes a few seconds, and then you'll be shown a random character. Once you're shown the character, you can choose to pick another randomly selected character, or go back and change some of your other options if you didn't like what you selected before. Once you're satisfied with the retainer that's shown, then select the option yes, and then you'll be able to pick a name for the retainer. Make sure you know what you want to name your retainer, because you cannot change it later without dismissing your retainer and hiring a new one. You can, however, have the same name as another retainer. Once you've finished entering a name, you'll be asked one last time to confirm that this is the character you want and the name that you want. And that's all there is to it. You now have a retainer working for you. In order to use your retainer, first you must summon your retainer. You could summon your retainer by finding one of these bells around the city. Usually they're around where the vendors are. Next you want to tell it which retainer to summon. This leads me to believe that you can have more than one retainer, but I have not figured out how to do that. If you go talk to the retainer vendor again, then they just say that pretty much she doesn't have enough to give to each person. Once the retainer is summoned, you select the option to manage items in order to trade items to your retainer. Once there, you can set prices for them, which I'll show you here in just a second. Once you're done trading items, close out of that menu, and then you can select the option to view and manage the contents of your bazaar. Next, all you have to do is select the item you want to sell, and then select the option to sell items. This will bring up a price box asking how much you want to sell the items for. Make sure you use this drop-down menu and select either a set price or a unit price if you want to allow people to buy only one of your items at a time. And that's it, your retainer is now ready to sell your items. Now if you go to the top of the list, where it says items, crystals, and bazaar, then you could choose bazaar to see the exact items that you have selling. And if you select the item here, then you can select to remove it from your sell list. And that's all there is to having your retainer sell items. Now you just have to dismiss your retainer, and then you can go find the market ward. Unfortunately, the market ward is not labeled on your map, so you'll have to go find it on your own, or find some websites that have it. In Limosa, it is just directly south of the Aetheryte crystal, and you'll know you're there when you see the icon at the top saying that you have a new action, and that new action is going to be teleport. Do not confuse this with your normal teleport spell. As you see, there are no new options here for teleporting. You have to use that special action at the top that's called teleport. Once you select teleport, you'll be asked which ward you want to go to. You select market ward, and then you get a large list. Usually the ones at the top are really crowded, but they're probably the best way to sell things, because I think most people are going to hit the first one first and then work their way down, and they may never even reach the bottom. As you can see, it's pretty crowded here. It still hasn't even loaded all the retainers yet. If it's really crowded and you try to summon your retainer, you'll get a message that says that you can't summon it, and so you'll have to go to another ward. There's also these stands on the side. If you see the option stand and there's nobody there, then you can actually select that option and you will be able to set your retainer at that stand. Supposedly that costs anywhere between 1 or 500 gil per day, and you have to renew it every day. It probably is going to increase your visibility though, so if you have a stand, you're more likely to sell things, but it's going to cost you and they're going to be hard to find. Here you can see I'm trying to summon my retainer, and I don't know if you can see the log at the bottom, but it tells me that no more retainers can be summoned here. So there's nothing I can do except go find the area where you can teleport, and then teleport to another ward. Now just go and stand where you want your retainer to be summoned, summon him, and he will appear right in front of you. You'll notice here you get all the same options that you had before for managing your retainer, plus an additional one to finish with your retainer without dismissing her. And that is what you need to do to sell your items. Make sure all your prices are set the way you want them, and then just say you've finished, and your retainer will stay there, and you can go on about questing and logging off and going to bed, and then your retainer is going to stay there and sell things, at least for the next 24 hours. As you can see, I'm walking away from my retainer and she stays right where I left her. Now teleport out of there back to Central Limsa Luminosa and you are done. Now how about we go back and let's check on our retainer. If you try to use the summoning bell while your retainer is in the market ward, you'll get a message saying that your retainer is busy and cannot be summoned this time. So you have to come down here to check on the status and see if anything's sold. And check that out, our retainer sold. It looks like a shield that we had selling earlier, and there's 5,000 gil just sitting there waiting for us now. Once again, this is Master Z with the Final Fantasy XIV tutorial. I hope it was beneficial, and please leave a comment below letting us know how we did. And be sure to check out our company and link show website, knightsofaletheia.com, for more great tutorials.